we're going to move on to our strength training. Like I mentioned earlier, we have our supersets for November. So we're going to start. Now you can do these supersets in whatever order, but I have them listed here. The first one is our dumbbell bench press, matched up with the dumbbell alternating overhead presses. So we're going to work that flat bench. Focus, we have 2 dumbbells, we're working both arms at the same time. So we're going to keep it simple so that you can really challenge yourself with the weight. Squeeze, press those dumbbells up, deep breath in. Remember, we're trying to pull them down. Think about keeping your wrists over your elbows here, so it might feel a little wider with your hands than you might be used to. That is going to help you feel stronger when those hands are in tighter than the elbows. Then you're having to move that weight in another direction before you can even really press it up. So focus on that form there. 5 heavy reps. A good place to start for most of you, if you were working with us in October, is for that alternating weight for 5 reps. Start with that weight. It should actually feel, for a lot of you, it's going to feel maybe slightly lighter than your 5 rep weight. That's okay, because now we're working both arms at the same time. Great place to start though. So as soon as you're done with your 5 heavy reps on the bench, you're going to move to your dumbbell alternating overhead presses. So you're going to grab 2 dumbbells, wall up those abs, grabbing your shoes with your toes, reaching for the ceiling, 1 arm at a time. So take your time. We're going to build some muscular endurance here because we've already worked some chest and shoulder. The overhead press has a different angle, so it's going to work a little bit more shoulder, but we're going to be working some of the same muscles here. For this one, if you were working with us in October, I would say go a little bit lighter than what you were doing for 5 reps to get started, because you can always take that weight up and find out it was a little too light. But the second exercise is always going to be probably a little bit lighter than what you could do if you weren't doing another exercise before. Because these supersets, the first exercise already exhausts the muscles a little bit, and then we're going to take it to the second exercise, so we have to accommodate or adjust for how we were feeling from the first one. So you'll get a set into those, and then you're going to give yourself 30 to 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to recover. Then we're going to go to our deadlifts and our split squats or rear foot elevated split squats. So you can work your kettlebell deadlift. You can also work the trap bar. We got Coach Matt here. It's a nice flat back, chest up here. I would like to see Matt tuck his chin just a little bit more at the bottom, but not too bad. We just don't want to crank our necks. Don't be thinking look across the floor. Think about looking down at the floor about 8 feet in front of you, so we're not putting too much strain on that neck here. Drive through those heels, squeeze those glutes nice and tight at the top. We want those shoulders and hips moving up at the same time. We got Coach T here with our kettlebell deadlift. So again, for some people, this position is easier to get into than the trap bar. We have heavier kettlebells, so you can still challenge yourself there. You can do a double kettlebell deadlift like we work on in boot camps as well. But we're going to go for 5 heavy reps here. So you want to find that weight that is challenging for 5 reps here, provided that it's also key you're feeling comfortable in that lower back. Make sure you get that grunt going to get those abs walled up to protect that lower back right before you drive up there. So we're going to do 5 heavy deadlifts, and then we're going to go to our split squats or rear foot elevated split squats. So you see here we have that 90-90 position down at the bottom. I'm pressing forward pushing back through my front leg, pushing forward through my back leg. See how I keep that heel off the floor. Even as I get to the top here, keep pushing myself forward, glute squeeze nice and tight. Some people feel comfortable pushing their heel down to the floor at the bottom, get a little bit of a stretch of those calves, so it's really up to you, but I want to see that hip engaged, so we're not rotating through our hips here, pushing forward through the back leg, back through the front leg to keep those hips stable. Deep breath, push that air out as you drive up here. We're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. You can also work that rear foot elevated split squat if you're so inclined and you have the stability there. Here I'm using the bar with my foot on the bar, which is I like to use the bar here or a TRX, because then I don't have to worry about my foot on a box. This is a little bit more comfortable to work through that range of motion. Still thinking about taking that knee down toward the floor. And as you'll notice here, as I'm going down to that lunge, I am leaning slightly forward. I'm trying to keep a straight line through my shoulder, my hip, and my knee on that back leg here. Not as important if you're not holding weights, but if you are holding some weights for this exercise, you want to have the right posture so we don't put too much pressure on that lower back. This one will work those glutes and quads. So you're going to feel these, whether it's the split squat or the rear foot elevated split squats. We also have the suspension trainers that you can use for your feet on these. And if you haven't done that one before, please ask. We're happy to show you. If you haven't done the rear foot elevated split squat before, and you're interested in and you feel comfortable with your split squats, please just let the coach know. We're happy to show you. It does take some stability on that front leg though, to make sure that you're able to do this safely, get the right form in, because I would much rather you err on the side of, doing the exercise that you're sure you can do well before. Now, there's nothing wrong with trying something to see how you do, but just don't force it. Make sure that you are doing the first variation of the exercise really well. That means that you're probably more likely to succeed at doing the second variation as well, but we're always happy to coach you through those as well. So we're going to get 2 to 3 sets of those in. In the first week, we'll probably just get 2 sets in, and weeks 2, 3, and 4, everybody knows the routine a little more. Most of you will have more time to get a third set in, but it is going to depend on how you're feeling, because even 2 sets can be a lot of work there.